Cougar fans, it is time.
Touchdown! What a grab!
It's time to raise your colors, raise your voice, and join in on the Raucous Roundtable about your favorite team, the BYU Cougars.
20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
It's time to tailgate. Cougar Tailgate, where BYU sports fandom lives. And here's your host, Lauren McLean.
What's up, Cougar Nation? I'm Lauren McLean, and we're here to tailgate with some of the most prominent families in Cougar history. This is part 2 of my interview with husband and wife, Mitch and Maddie Matthews, former star athletes for the BYU football team and women's soccer team. All right, let's start with questions for Mitch about Maddie, okay? We're going to do three questions, three trivia questions from Maddie's career.
Nail this.
First question is, which team did Maddie get her debut against?
Gosh. Like freshman year?
Yeah.
We
First team she played against, stepped on the field.
You're talking the premortal existence, like before I even knew
I'm
who
trying to
this
think
chick
if
was.
I even remember.
Yeah, if she doesn't know, I get a pass. You know what I'm saying?
You don't remember your very first game you played in at BYU?
I don't either. I don't remember. Like even stepped on the field. I'm gonna say conference. They were Mountain West. I think I'm gonna go maybe like an exhibition. Utah State.
I don't think they were Mountain West. I think they were WCC.
We were, yeah.
Back then.
So, wrong.
Utah or Utah State?
No.
Just like an exhibition.
No.
Dang it.
Maddie, do you know?
It wasn't Fresno,
No.
but it was the one after that. It was a home game. I'm trying to remember which team it was.
If you don't get it right, I don't get it wrong.
Wasn't St. Mary's, was it?
No. Washington State.
Was it Washington State?
Pass.
Listen, that's what our stats tell us.
Wow. I do remember
I
where it
hopefully
was.
that's
I
right.
remember my game, so you good.
Okay, here's the next one. Which team did Maddie score her very first goal against? You
Do I know this
should.
one?
You should know
Oregon.
this one.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
you
that
should
was
know
a-
this one.
Dude, that was
And it was the game winner.
That was a lightning strike. I'll catch Maddie. I'll roll over. So
Stop it. Do not go here.
I will catch Maddie watching that highlight to herself sometimes.
I would too. Are you kidding me?
Straight
Such a good
up.
memory.
She'll have like this little
The
smirk on her
smirk.
face. Like super proud of herself. I'm like, dude, that was 10
You're like, get
years
over
ago.
it.
You can't
I'm
tell
just
me
kidding.
you
She-
don't watch
she
your
doesn't-
highlights.
I don't.
Oh, yeah. Mitch with the Hail Mary. Ha, ha.
Oh, never, ever cringe. No, I'm just joking about her like watching it on highlights. But it was a sick shot, though. Can't take it away from her.
Thank you.
Well, I would. Listen, even if you do, zero judgment. I
Insane,
totally would.
Insane shot.
All right, here's your last one. Maddie's 100-meter personal record in college was over or under 12 seconds.
Over. 12:04. Official
You
time.
got it. It is over, but it wasn't 12:04. It was 12:01.
I was so
Barely.
close. I was so
Barely,
close. I remember
Maddie.
looking at the time like,
If you gave her another month, it's different.
that
'cause
was
she
the
didn't
frustrating
even
part of
change.
one season. Every time I was running, I was PRing. So I'm like,
So you're like, come on.
on my last race, I'm like, I just wanted to get in the 11th.
You
Like
give-
that would have been so cool.
You give her.
You could probably do it now.
You give her a 4.
I'm like sprinting
4
a pull a
years.
hamstring.
You give her a full 4 years of just track. She's an 11.5.
I would have loved to see where I've
11.4.
gone. But yeah, thank you. I would hope so.
That's
Just 11s
amazing.
in the
She's got
11s.
that-
Amazing athlete.
Thank you.
All right, Maddie, these are for you.
Oh gosh.
Mitch had his first career reception against this ACC school in 2012.
Do you even know what ACC is?
I don't know which teams are in the
Do
ACC.
you even know? Give me the.
Can you give
the
me a
acronym.
hint? Just give me like a tiny hint, and
It's-
maybe I
ACC is at. Oh, okay.
It's a
Atlantic Coast
southern
Conference.
school.
can.
Southeast.
Wake Forest.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Mitch, what was it?
Georgia Tech.
There you go.
Oh.
Georgia
Georgia.
Tech, 2012.
Georgia. It was for 4 yards.
Wow.
Big Daddy.
Huge, huge. All right.
Bubble pass.
Second one is, which team did he have a single game career high in receiving yards against? It was in 2014.
Home game.
Not Cincinnati.
No. The team
Utah State.
No. Even though they did get the business though that game, but no, not them.
Can you give me a hint?
I was born in the state.
Oregon.
Nope, I wasn't born.
Oh, Nevada.
Maddie,
Las
It
Vegas.
was Nevada.
just
And,
Nevada.
okay, just Nevada. Okay.
UNR.
182 yards.
Wow.
Nevada, 2014.
That's right.
All right, here's the last one. Which team did he score his most touchdowns against in his career?
Utah State.
There it is. Hey.
That is true, but it's not.
You
the
each
game
got
you're
one.
thinking- It's not the game you're thinking of. It was when I was a sophomore.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Because you balled out the game that I watched.
that wasn't the bad.
No way.
It was before we knew each other. My sophomore year.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, you
Cool.
scored 6 touchdowns against Utah State in your career.
in 3 games.
Yes.
Wow.
They got the business. I swear to you.
Everyone listening is like, Maddie. They're
got
probably
it.
like, their ears are bleeding.
Whatever. Okay. So post BYU, let's talk about your lives because you guys have done a lot, had 2 children. Mitch, you graduate from BYU, go through the NFL draft process, get a free agent deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. What was that process like for the both of you? You've talked about it a little bit. You had to do long distance, but what was that like?
There's two sides of it. So football was football, and we can dive into that. But football was amazing. Going to Kansas City, I made a lot of mistakes in the NFL by choosing the wrong teams. I think I've told that in different podcasts before. I should have gone to Green Bay instead of Kansas City. I love Andy Reid, but I shouldn't have gone there. And I was with the Cleveland Browns, hurt my hamstring. They called me back. I should have gone back, but I didn't. I went to Minnesota instead. Made some mistakes that that are all hindsight 2020 mistakes. But it was a crazy time in my life to be on an NFL team, getting married, funeral for my mom. And I was at that time contemplating, am I on the next chapter of life? Like, I'm not sure. So you have all these crazy thoughts I've never had before. That'll put hair on your chest for sure, turn you into a man, And so it was really, really tough balancing that all. But when I had time with Maddie and I, it was some sweet moments. It was amazing. And that's how I knew through all the chaos when I'm with Maddie, I'm like, if she can handle me at these times, she can handle me whenever. So that's when I knew life was good with her. And then it was, for me watching her junior and senior year, and I guess that's just what I knew. Like I was supposed to be with her when she saw my life and lived my life and all the tough points from football and my mom and everything. And when she was by my side, that's when I knew she was the one. And that's when our life sort of blossomed. And it was sort of a baton passing from my mom to her in a weird way. Like my female rock in my life was my mom, and then it was passed to Maddie. And like I said, that's when I knew. And then after 2 years of football after college, bouncing around, doing distance, that made us even stronger, I think, just all over the country while she's still balancing life, grieving my situation, and I'm out playing, watching her balance that all. So those 2 years were definitely the craziest we've ever had, no question.
For sure.
What was it like from your perspective, Maddie?
Kind of the same thing. Like I want to say the same what Mitch said. Like I remember because her funeral was a week before, or like 5 days before our wedding. And I just remember like the day we were supposed to take bridals. I'm like, do we even go to bridals? Because she was still alive at this point, could have passed at any second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do we even do it? And everyone's like, you have to go. Like, she'd be mad if you didn't. So we went and took bridals. And I just remember, like, even in the most chaotic moment, like, we had a blast. Like, I feel like we were just in our little bubble for just a tiny little moment, just laughing and having a good time. But, yeah, like, going back to the NFL, all that stuff, same thing. Like, I actually didn't get to go to one of Mitch's NFL games because soccer season is the same as football season. And so I was either traveling, practice, game. So I never got to watch him. I always, watch when I could on TV and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just crazy long distance and all that stuff and trying to manage life. But it was crazy times, but fun times for sure,
One thing I love about you guys is you're both still extremely committed to fitness and sports. What would you say? This might be a very obvious question, but what would you say drives that?
Yeah, it's just in my blood. Like, my happy place is sports and workouts and just being outside and all of that stuff. Like, and I also want to set example for like my daughters too, is like, yeah, this is good for you. You can take time for yourself, especially as mothers. It's hard to like take any time for yourself. And I even have this like weird mom guilt anyway when I'm like working out and like at home and they're watching me and I'm like, oh man, I should probably be giving them attention. Yeah. But like in my head, I'm like, no, I know this is good because then Micah will join my workout and be like, Mom, can I do this? And so now she knows squats, jumping jacks. Like I think she could be a little personal trainer, honestly. She's got something going, but yeah.
I love that. What about for you, Mitch? Why is it something that's so important still?
I don't know. My mom was a Pilates and group fitness instructor my whole childhood. Like, she would have these weird rules of the house where, if we're watching, my brother and I, if we're watching too much TV, then we would have to do a certain either yoga pose or a stretch during the during
Such
the
a Lisa
commercials.
thing.
I love that.
During the commercials, so she had this big inflatable exercise ball, and then we'd have to sit on our knees and balance that if we wanted to watch TV. Like that was just like her mentality. And she was not like a drill sergeant, but it was just a fun way to like be fit. And she had just always moving and always on the go. And so I'm just like her little, her little protege, if you will.
For sure.
I've always loved health and wellness and fitness, and it's like this is what I wear every day: short shorts and like hiking shoes. I had to borrow a T-shirt here. This isn't mine. This is what Tori gave me because I came straight from a hike. Like we just love being busy physically and moving around and doing our thing. And I think that's fun to us. But I love what the outlet it is for me. So we keep it rocking. You know?
Mitch hiked the Y twice today.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Two and a half.
Mitch, come on.
Oh, 2.5 times. Sorry. And he carries a giant rock.
That's crazy.
Like once a week.
It's a dang good time.
Well, and you do.
It's a dang good
Do
time.
you do this too? You did something like you do 1 mile on the first, 2 miles on the second,
my
right? The
gosh.
calendar.
Oh, we did it. Oh, by the way, I announced that here in this
Yeah,
room
you did
with Johnny.
Linehan.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said if BYU won this
did
game
it.
against Arkansas, I'd do it. Even though I was planning on doing it anyways. But that was in
But luckily.
that was in March. I ran 500 miles in March. So the
That's
challenges
amazing.
I love, just like certain big stumbling block challenges that you have to really go all in for. I just love those. They bring me back to like the football mode where like you're something big, you have to get ready for. I'm just kind of, the habits are there, and it's just kind of in my personality just to be doing and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
I'm more like get the workout in and like feel good for the day. And Mitch is like, let's do these crazy challenges. And I'm like, you're crazy. He has a craziness to him.
Best. It's the best.
That's one of my favorite things about him, though.
I feel like a lot of former athletes kind of had that mentality.
Yeah.
Like they need that thing.
You gotta have a big
Competitive.
outlet. You're
Yes.
so used to it. You got to have
Totally.
some big out. At least you should, in my opinion. You got to have some big outlet.
Totally.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have more from former BYU football and soccer stars, husband and wife, Mitch and Maddie Matthews. You guys also have quite a big social media following. What first started that? Like, when did you first say, hey, let's try and do some fun things on social media, Maddie?
Okay. No one's going to know what I'm talking about, but like I kind of grew up with social media, I guess, in high school, where like at first like Instagram was like taking a picture of like what you ate that day with like a weird filter, but like you're just
Riveting,
life.
riveting
you're just
stuff.
like documenting everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not a funny person, but like I love making, I don't even know how this would make sense, but like I just love creating fun videos. And even like Vine, I don't know if you guys have heard of Vine, but like there was I loved making funny videos on Vine. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. And I'm like, I'm really not, but like I can capture funny moments. But yeah, I just love, like with TikTok now, I love pranking Mitch. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
It's insane. I'm actually great to prank though, and they're always
He's the
authentic
best
and genuine.
person.
How do you not know it's coming, though? Like, at this point,
Oh no! At this point, my guard's up, and I've caught
He
her.
is.
I've caught her. Like the fact that she doesn't post it more is because I catch her.
Yeah, for sure.
So she has to really go all out now.
Yeah,
She's
so I have
also,
to be
She's
sneaky.
also, as much as I love her to death, she's also a terrible actor. And so I'm like, really, like serious, like this is so like it's so obvious. But then sometimes she's gotten me good.
When she gets your dad involved,
she's gotten me
That's
good.
that's where you have to like add new things. Where
Yeah.
it's like once someone else is involved, he's like, wait a minute, wait, really,
this real?
or is
The
this
last
fake?
one she got me that when she fought with
Yeah, so
her
we did this.
father-in-law, my dad.
You guys have to
drank
watch
He
it.
drank a gallon of milk. By
the way, we planned this for
lid.
like an hour before. Like, what are we saying? What are we doing? We have to like paint the scene.
And then her and my dad started like yell fighting in the kitchen, and I was in the middle of it. It was so
It's like,
brutal.
why would you
I
drink
thought
that?
they were
That's
joking.
disgusting.
I was like, oh, you're joking. And then I'm like, oh,
Kept
they're doubling
going.
down. They doubled down. And I'm like, this is so awkward.
But that
But that one
doesn't seem
popped
like
off.
either of their personalities.
No, it
You
doesn't.
had to
It was a breaking moment for her. She just broke, and I'm like, I get it. His lips touched the milk carton. Like, I get why you'd break at this moment. That's disgusting.
I was already being kind of moody that day too, and so like Mitch was like,
you
Wait a
set the
minute."
scene perfectly then.
for sure.
Oh, dude, it was like a week-long build-up. That was bad.
That's so great.
The poop and the fake poop in Micah's diaper when she was a baby was
That was the very first
crowning,
prank.
the crowning jewel. Where I lost my lid.
So to paint a picture, I like got chocolate and I just like melted it and put it in a
Yeah.
diaper. Micah was still in diapers at this point, so I laid it out. Then I put Micah next to it, and of course, babies love eating chocolate.
Yeah.
So I gave her some, put it on her mouth before, and then she knew that was chocolate, so she was eating out of it. I was hiding upstairs because I know that my face. So like I heard the garage opening, set Micah down, sprinted
Yeah.
upstairs. He opens the door and sees the scene.
Lost my marbles.
Yeah, that one was a good one.
Did
Did you find out pretty quickly? Like, did you smell it? Were you like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I just thought she's never like farther than 4
That's-
feet from our children ever.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, the fact that she's down here by herself with her diaper off. And then I did take a whiff, and it was like some peanut buttery Nutella concoction. I figured
So
it was
good,
not
Maddie.
that.
So good.
If she just tripled down on the pranks, dude, she'd be
I just can't
so
hide
famous
it.
on Instagram.
I can't.
What are some of the negatives about having so many people watching you and watching what you're doing? Do you ever get like weird people reaching out or?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just think you have to have a filter of like like you want to show who you are and show your personality and be vulnerable and that's like the way you grow on social media. But there's a time where it's like, hey, social media is also real life. Like people can also see every part of your life and see where you live. That could
Totally.
be a little strange, but for the most part, I think human beings are normal people, and it's good to share. And I think with Maddie's business and what she does and training and the products she sells, like social media is obviously important for that. And the things that I launch, the businesses that I launch, like in social media is important. So I don't think we've ever had a crazy run-in with social media, like something scary come from social media. But you definitely have to have a filter of like who you respond to and all that stuff.
I think the thing I've learned is the more people that see, the more judgment.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
You gotta be ready.
And it's really weird because like I do care what people think, but for some reason, like ever since becoming a mom, I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't care. It's like the people who know me and they have judgments, let's talk. But the people who like are watching me from a tiny, tiny little lens of my whole entire life, like I'll post a video of like me and the girls and people will be like, oh, you're the worst mom, or why don't you do this? And I'm like, if only you saw my day 24/7, I don't think you would be saying that. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like, I know.
Oh, the keyboard
deep
warriors
down,
are crazy.
yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
that
it
would
is.
go away after a while. It's like worse.
It's just getting worse. The more views a video gets, but at the same time, this is bad. This is toxic. But like the more, what's the word I'm looking
Hate.
for? But the
more
more
clicks.
Yeah, but the more like spicy. What's the word I'm looking for?
You go more viral.
Controversial.
The more viral it becomes.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's like people in the comments, and so
Yes.
it's like I can't control that. And sometimes I'm not doing it on purpose, but then I look back, I'm like, oh, whoops. But then it just blows up. So I'm not doing that on purpose. But sometimes it helps.
spicy. That's where you get the views.
Yeah.
What's it like being a parent and slowing down after having such just like intense collegiate careers? Now you kind of have to slow down, and now you're a mom, Maddie. What's that been like for you?
Crazy. Like I love reminiscing on like my life before, but I think you can relate where you're like, what was life before having kids? Like I had this much time. Like I could have like eat when I wanted to eat and like shower when I wanted to shower. But it's honestly been like life hasn't been better, even though it's like hard. It's just the best. Like I just want what I had as a child. I want that for my kids and like what Mitch had. So it's really beautiful to like make this life together. And
dude, she is in her element. Like it fits like a glove, dude. She's so dialed as a mom, and the girls, like, they are on every organic squeezable freaking meal, like every regimen, every calorie is counted for, dude. It is so. I don't even know how she does it, man. I'm like,
no, I let them. We had donuts for breakfast the other day.
Yeah, we see.
We
bring that
have
up
fun.
one time.
We
that,
have
like,
fun.
And they're like, this has too much sugar, Mom.
Yeah, she
We
was portioning it off, and she's got every medicine and every anti-whatever and every freaking vitamin you can imagine. She's dialed. She's in her element. You know what I mean?
It's
She's
fun.
dialed.
What about for you, Mitch? What was that like becoming a dad?
Oh, it's the funnest thing ever. I just love having fun with the kids. I don't think I'm the most like the super slow down nurturing moments. I don't think that's like in my wheelhouse as much as it is Maddie's, like as a nurturer. Like, 'cause I have never slowed down, probably never will, you know, especially after football and NFL. Like, it's so go, go, go. Like having like such a still life with like a newborn and then a newborn. Like you're like, whoa, this is actually nuts. Like this thing doesn't talk. It doesn't want to run.
What am I
around,
supposed
play
to
with
do
you.
with this thing?
It doesn't want to compete with you and like play games. So I have gotten to be a better dad as my kids have gotten older because I love teaching, I love coaching, I love playing. That's like where I thrive. So obviously you're in newborn heaven when you have those newborns, but I've gotten so much better as the kids have gotten older, and it's just going to get better and better because that's my element.
Sure.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
And it's not like it's a baton passing from like Maddie the first 3 years then to me. It's just like sort of this natural thing, but being a dad's the best thing ever. It's so much fun.
Yeah, when dad's home, mom is chopped liver.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah,
Because that's fun.
It's all about pops, for sure.
Yeah.
The real question is, have either of them showed any interest in sports?
Micah doesn't care
Micah's
for
how
soccer.
old? How old is
She's
Micah?
3.
She's 3.
So she's still young. Yeah.
She doesn't care
That's
about
right
soccer.
that's right when you can start putting them in stuff.
Yes.
3 years
Yeah.
old. She doesn't care about
She is
it.
in gymnastics because I did hear that like gymnastics is like the best sport that you can put them in for everything, just like
Yeah.
the coordination, the strength. And so I'm like, I'm going to milk that for as long as I can just for coordination purposes. But yeah, again, of course I would love if my girls played soccer, ran track, but
If they don't.
if they don't, that's fine. And I'll support them in whatever they play. But I just want them to be competitive in whatever they do, you know?
If they want to play chess and ballroom dance. You guys are
Like
gonna
I
be
won't
right
know
there.
what to do, but I will be right there.
We'll be right there.
All right, my last question for you guys is, what kind of things do you hope and do you want your girls to learn from you and implement into their own lives? We'll start with Mitch.
Super high self-esteem, a belief that they can go accomplish anything they want to. Short and sweet. That's it.
I love it. Maddie, what about you?
Oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question. I just think I don't want to copy what Mitch said.
You can.
I also want them to know that like I want them to like love themselves so much that they do have that confidence to like do whatever, but like be coachable, but also have confidence in yourself. I don't know.
No, I love
Well,
that.
like,
it's huge.
It's
That's
not that like
huge.
life's about football or life is not about football and life is not about soccer. Those are just like
Stepping
big
stones for big
moments
life.
For
yeah.
life. Like
yeah.
it's okay, and at least I'll speak for football, to like turn on the super high ego when you need to turn that on. Like, you know, it's game time. It's that. But like turning that off to be super selfless in times where you need to be charitable and be a good friend, be a good teammate, be a good leader, you know, help lift the kid in need who's struggling, you know. But it's just you can I believe you can do a lot when you have a super high self-love and high self-esteem. Like, you look at yourself as an awesome person who can do a lot of good in the world. And so when the arena is football, you can do a lot of good there. When the arena is business and life, you can do a lot of good there. So it's like self-love and high self-esteem for the self, not just like a confident football player or like a cocky soccer player. It's like that just goes away after 4 years.
Yeah.
It's about high self-esteem so that when football does end, it isn't like rock bottom for the next 10 years in life and you're a has-been that always looks back to what you did on the field. It's high self-esteem and high self-love for like the human, you know?
Yeah, the thing that comes to my head right now, and this is like just a small example, but like Micah's learning to put on her shoes right now. And she was getting frustrated the other day because she's like, Mom, I can't do it. I can't. And I don't want her to have that mentality. I try to correct her, and I know she's young, but I'm like, Micah, you can do it. But like, just say, I need help. Like, I want her to be able to, it's okay to ask for help if you can't do something, but we don't say I can't because you can. She's like, okay, I can. I'm like, okay, can you say I need help? She's like, yeah, I just need help. And then I told her how to do it and she did it. And she's like, I did it, you know?
Aww.
So just like how you talk to yourself too, like, don't tell yourself that you can't do anything, because you can. Just figure, find solutions. So I don't know.
I love
small
that.
things like that,
I love that. You two are incredible. Thank you so much for
You're
coming
the
on with me.
best. We love hanging
The
out with
fans
you.
learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot about each other in the process.
we did.
We actually did. That's
That was
crazy.
great. A great little therapy session.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for us today. Thanks again to Maddie and Mitch Matthews for coming on the show with me. Carter Bond and Tori Kimball helped produce this episode with senior producer Terry South. You can join the Cougar Tailgate wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, or on BYURadio.org. Cougar Tailgate is a production of BYU Radio.